Hello, my fellow patriots, and welcome to another edition of Mr. Campbell's Rambles. You know, this morning in my private time with the Lord, my Bible reading plan had me reading Psalm 127, and I want to read just a portion of it to you. It says, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them." And that is so true. Children are a lot like arrows. I've thought before, you know, the beauty of arrows is they can be shot from a distance and aimed at a target that is very far away. And that's true of our children. I have had children, two daughters of mine, who have taken the gospel to places I've never been. One of my daughters spent a summer in Kyrgyzstan, and another daughter of mine spent a summer in the Philippines. I've visited a lot of places in this world, but I've never been to either of those two countries, and yet I've had children who have gone there and have gone there representing Christ in those places. It's as if they were arrows that I was able to shoot from a distance. There's another place that children can go as arrows that we cannot go, and that is chronologically into the future, into a future era of time that you and I will not enter, because most of the time our children outlive us, and so they're able to go further than we can go and can represent the Lord. But they first have to be sharpened and aimed well. And we at Bethesda are thrilled to play a role with you, partnering with you as the parents in that sharpening and aiming process of children. It's a huge privilege and it's a huge responsibility, and we love it. You know, a couple of weeks ago, there was a parent who logged into the Facebook group called Brownsburg Chatter, and they asked for a review of Bethesda, saying that they were thinking about enrolling their child there. And the internet just lit up with 50 or 60 comments about Bethesda, and almost every one of them were glowing, raving reviews about the school. Some of them coming from alumni from 20 or 30 years ago, and others were coming from families who've only been with us for 1 year. But all of them were almost all of them were very, very positive. And it was a real encouragement to me to see that we have such strong word of mouth working for us. And when you have that going on, it just attracts more families to join in when they hear what great things are going on at our school. And that's what we've experienced over the last couple of years. We have sustained phenomenal growth, and part of that is due to the Indiana State Legislature making choice vouchers more readily available to people. In fact, although it's not quite universal yet, 95% of Indiana families currently are able to avail themselves of these state vouchers and apply them to private school tuition. And so that is a wonderful blessing. And we are almost full at Bethesda as a result of this. We have 563 students enrolled right now, pre-K to 12, and we're using every available room that we have access to at both the church and the school buildings on our property, and we're about maxed out. In fact, half of our grades are filled to capacity. The other grades have a few slots that could be filled here and there. We could probably go a little above 600 students, but beyond that, we're full. And because of that, over the past several months, it has caused the school administration and the school board and the church pastors at Parkside to all wrestle with the question of what do we do at this point? Do we camp out where we are and just be the best school that we can of 600 students? Or do we make space for more families who would like to come and join us? And that is not a decision that we took lightly. We spent a long time researching, analyzing, discussing, praying, fasting, digging into God's Word, and seeking what His Spirit would have to say to us on the matter. And when all was said and done, it was amazing to me to see how the school administration and board and pastors all aligned in unison around the decision that we need to build. The problem is not that we have a lack of space for new students at this campus. We've got lots of space, lots of acreage. What we lack is enough developed space to accommodate any more students at present. And so we have determined to take some of this space that we have, this land, and develop it, because why did God give us this land in the first place decades ago, if not to fully develop it to be used for His glory? And that's what we want to do. So we are announcing that we're going to be launching on a fundraising campaign looking toward a building project. And with that in mind, we've already consulted with an architect who has drafted plans for 2 buildings. We're calling it a phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 would be an academic building that would consist of about 18 classrooms plus office space and conference rooms, and also would include an expansion of our current kitchen. And then phase 2 would include a gymnatorium, which could be used as a practice gym and also a new and better and improved theater venue for performances. Currently, we have what I affectionately call our CAFA gymnatorium, which is probably our most highly used space on campus, but it is aging. Even though we've given it a renovation this past summer, it is aging out, and there's just not enough space, even with the 2 gyms that we have, to fully accommodate our current needs, much less our sporting needs that we would have if we were to grow more. Even last winter, during basketball season, we were using 2 other gyms in the region to accommodate our sports team practices. So we are very excited about this potential expansion that we're looking forward to, and but it's going to cost money, and it's going to cost approximately $9.5 million to build. The good news is that about half of that, about $4.5 million, we anticipate that as a school we can fund that through our own operations income. And so, and of that amount, the first $1 million of that $4.5 million has already been earmarked, so that by the end of this fiscal year, we anticipate having that set aside for this purpose. So that just leaves us the other $5 million that needs to be raised for this. And we have been, over the past couple of months, targeting several individuals who have historically shown support monetarily to our school, and currently we have raised over $800,000. So we're closing in on having raised our first $1 million already. So we're very excited about this, and we are now publicly announcing it and opening up this fundraising campaign, which we are calling the Rise Up and Build Capital Campaign. And it is taking place from now until the end of the calendar year, December 31st, and it will probably last even beyond that. But we're going to be making a big push from now to the end of December to raise as much as we can in cash and pledges, and we're aiming for these pledges to be stretched out over a period of 5 years, and we would like to have the buildings fully paid for by then. The rate of speed at which we go with these buildings will depend on how the fundraising goes. But if all goes well, we would like to have these buildings built within the next couple of years. So it's my pleasure and privileged to announce this to you. I'm very excited about what the Lord is doing in our midst, and I'm hopeful that you will participate in this. We would love to have 100% participation of all our BCS families in this capital campaign. It doesn't have to be a large gift. Small gifts add up to be sizable. And so we would ask that everyone, as you are able, contribute something. You know, Psalm 127 opens with verse 1, which says this: "Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain." We don't want to labor in vain, but we are looking to build a house. Bethesda means house of mercy, house of grace, and we're looking to expand our house. But we don't want to do it in our own strength, because we know that would lead to failure. We're biting off something that is beyond ourselves, beyond our capability in and of ourselves. It's a God-sized task, and we're believing that God has led us in this direction and that God is going to supply this need. And I am so eagerly anticipating seeing how He is going to do that. And I would ask that you please prayerfully consider if the Lord might be calling you to be part of the way that He meets our need. Thank you so much. And as always, may He always be at the center of Bethesda.